Gambling, I'm much rough with guns and violence. You just sit here trying to win, trying not to sin. High off weed and oxygen, so much smoking oxygen. Suddenly counting Benjamins. Nigga, you should too, if you knew what this game would do to you. Been this shit since 92. Look at all the bullshit.
We're gonna talk for a little while, I guess. 2-3 hours maybe, tops. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy live. Google Hangout. What we're going to be doing is people are going to start flowing in. It's a nice Sunday evening here on the East Coast, 3:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and was getting my my boxing Jones to the point where I feel, you know what, some things that we got to talk about, and just doing the individual videos alone. The point is not really, I don't always get my point across, to whereas when I do Google Hangouts, I'm able to display more depth in the subject matter. So, you know, start off before everybody starts joining us. What I'm going to say is been making some advancements, as you can see. A lot of things people haven't even been noticing. For example, the official exclusive Showtime content on the channel. Thank you to Showtime. Also, thank you to Hoop Jab. Link right in the description box. Be Real TV. RealCombatMedia.com, of course, the website I'm associated with. GTM Sports Banners. And I guess what I'm saying is that I got the necessary things in place to do what I told you I was going to do over my YouTube career, as far as getting to the gyms, check. Getting to the fights, check. Interviews, check. More boxing, check. And I'm at a point right now where I'm trying to figure out what else do I owe the fans. For example, I couldn't just keep doing videos like this, like videos where it's just me. Now, even though I still will continue to do these videos, what I'm doing is I'm adding content. So remember when I was on the other channel, as I explained before, we had pro wrestling, news, mixed martial arts, to whereas and I was 80% of that channel. Don't get that twisted. To whereas on this channel, you'll still have me doing my regular videos, but I will be adding boxing content to support my videos, i.e. Press conferences, media workouts, interviews, fighter footage, highlights, etc. So on T Street Controversy Live, it's all about growth. It's all about seeing what you want, being transparent, and looking at what the fans want as far as, well, what should I be doing next? So there's a lot going on. So to give you some examples, fights. I will be covering Garcia versus Peterson and Andy Lee versus Peter Quillen in some capacity. So when it comes to the Philly events, Danny Garcia Gym, I'm going to be there getting all the media stuff, you know, interviews, etc. When it comes to the fight, no. When it comes to maybe the post-fight press conference, yes. Any events associated in Philly with Danny Garcia, yes, that footage will be here on the channel. What fight is after that? That's April the 11th. April the 18th, I'm not quite sure yet. I got some investors. I got some friends. And right now, I'm not sure if or in what capacity I'm going to be covering Lucas Matisse versus Ruslan Provodnikov. So right now, I would say that's 50-50. I want to cover that, but we'll see how that goes. The fight after that, what's that? April the 18th. What's on April the 18th? What is that fight? See, I covered so many fights and I forgot. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Fanfare. I'm working on that now. As I've said, I've been making some advancements. We got a team together now. I got some people down in Texas. I got some people over in LA. I'll be talking to them later. If you're watching this video, yes, I'm talking about you. And we're going to get some guys working the Chavez versus Fanfare event. April the 25th. This fight, you can't see it, but I'm not going to take that. Vladimir Klitschko versus Brian Jennings, the unification for the WBA, WBO, IBO, and Ring Magazine heavyweight titles. I'll be in attendance for that. Make sure the music doesn't pop up on you. Yeah, I'll be in attendance for that, covering that and covering every event associated with that. For example, the media workout for Brian Jennings, media workout for Vladimir Klitschko, press conference, post-fight press conference, weigh in. I'll be at the fight, circling the arena, getting all the interviews. May the 2nd, we're now on the road to Mayweather versus Pacquiao. It's looking like, put it this way, I almost have everything in place as far as an official media source. For example, when I talk about fights, what's the likelihood that they don't come true? Honestly, let's be real with each other. So I got my brand away from of speculation to more so, if you notice, like I don't talk about shit that nobody else is not talking about. And also I make sure I provide source material as far as telling you where to go look for yourselves. So everything I talk about is not like some hidden secrets. You can all go find this stuff yourself, except as being a regular reporter, or what you deem as being a normal reporter, as far as writing it down on paper and and submitting it to a website and writing daily articles. No, I just do it in video form. And also I do it in a form to whereas I'm more comfortable, and therefore my delivery comes off better, and I'm able to talk more down to earth with you guys without sugarcoat shit and everything like that. So when it comes to Mayweather versus Pacquiao, I understand, like, when it comes to media, they're not going to be letting everybody in. But at the same time, if you are media, you better be there worth something and to do something. So what my brand and what my channel is going to provide, and what we're perfecting, and remember, I'm new to all this stuff, remember, but at the same time, I know the steps, and I've learned the steps that have to be taken. So you have to understand that I'm in a situation where I see what has to be changed. For example, getting the content up faster. Of course, fans have addressed various different camera issues. Of course, we see all that stuff. But remember, we're new, and you crawl before you start walking. So we're in a situation right now where we have everything in the place. For example, me, myself, and my team, we get into events now off of my team, my brand, and along with the help of Real Combat Media, because you have to have the website. People ask stuff, well, where's tstreetcontroversy.com? It's there, and it leads you right back here. Thank you to who. So everything is there. It's just that we're fine-tuning things, and when everyone gets here, we're going to start talking about the boxing and everything. But I figure, this is usually the time, the first 20 minutes, half hour of video before people start trickling in and we start, talking and debating. So basically, what I'm saying to you is this. Listen, hang in there. I have major plans. I have plans that I've talked about, but I'm not going to go into the same detail I have before. But just expect for this channel to continuously make advancements as far as, once again, people don't look at how, there's official Showtime content and HBO content on this channel. So I just want you to know that I'm working behind the scenes. So people say, for example, we want to see you just talking. We don't like all the new stuff. And I'm thinking, what kind of, I'm adding that. My video output is not going to change. I'm going to do the same amount of videos. It's just that, remember, y'all used to get pissed because used to be the wrestling and shit and everything on the channel. So therefore now I'm just adding boxing stuff. So what else? I'm pretty much think that it. So April is going to be a pretty big busy month for me. If I get the Mayweather Pacquiao, right now, honestly, it's not up to me. I have everything in place. And what I'm going to do is, as time goes on, I'm going to keep doing more and more. And as you see, you'll see more of my videos. I did something about a week ago. I did something like 110 videos in like 16 days or something like that. Something crazy. So what you'll see is you'll see me doing my part. You'll see me going to the events or working with my team to get the team and the brand and the channel and Real Combat Media to the events, to whereas when it's time for the PR team for Mayweather versus Pacquiao to see, okay, well, who should we let in? Then, I want to make sure they look like, okay, this guy is a contributor, and I also must let you know I'm going to be starting on the Sky Sports Toe-to-Toe podcast next week. In fact, after this, I'm actually going to get some more details on that from Spencer Farron, if you don't know who he is, boxing pundit from overseas. Things are going well. So, I just had to make sure I address when people see the videos with me and Be Real TV and all that, listen, everything's in place. Nothing is going to change. We know what we're doing. We're listening to feedback. And and things are going to get better. So as far as the boxing channel, I'll say it the best way I possibly can with little words. We are a threat now. So we'll just leave it at that. We're hoping to have a good 2015, and then by the summer of this year, 2015, you'll see exactly where we're going as far as what we're trying to do. You can see little glimpses now, but you'll see where we're going. So let's move on to the topics of the week. Of course, let me get ready, because I just want to make sure we're all on an understanding, because there's so many different topics to talk about. As far as, well, people want to know, hey, T Street, what's up with the Alex Ariza Heredia stuff he was talking, stuff like that. So it's my job, my bad. It's my job for us to talk about that stuff. It's time to address that stuff. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live of RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. So, thank you, Al Heyman. Listen, no one's failed any drug test. These are very, very, very wealthy individuals, meaning Manny Pacquiao. Well, the parties involved. I don't expect for a person like me, for fans to say, oh, this guy, I just want you to know that everything I talk about is out there for you to see on your own. You can go see it on your own. You can go watch it on your own. You can go listen to it on your own. It's just that what I do and what I've been doing over these years, after covering so much boxing and so much boxing news, I know all of it up here. All of it, from the big T details to the small details, to the point where I can put it in a half-an-hour video that I did. It's not enough to talk about everything. And that's why you may think that you didn't talk about this, or you left this person out, you're biased. Or you didn't talk about this, and Justin Fortune, and you left this out, you're biased. You got to understand that all this stuff out there is for you, and for you to make your own assumptions off of what it may or may not mean. Don't shoot the messenger is the same. Don't come at me talking about, why you talking this, you just a hater and everything. Because to be honest with you, I know the truth. Now, whether it can be proved, put it this way. Only the boxers and their teams know the exact truth. But as far as everything around it, I know all that shit, just like all the media writers. But the thing is, no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to write about it. And then if you do write, or if you do talk about it, you got to be cryptic in the way you do it. And they know what I'm talking about. Because right now, the biggest issue I have, and I didn't, in that video, let's get this straight right now. In that video I did earlier last week, about Tuesday or Wednesday, I did not talk not 1 minute about that drug testing penalty. I did not talk about it in any way, shape, or form, because I did not care about it. That was not my issue. I have one single, solitary, isolated issue, and it's like Alex Ariza Heredia. Now, I've read the Fighter Hype article, okay? Right? The man's Twitter says otherwise over the last several months, so I'm going to just leave it at that. It's just that it's something called the Mayweather standard, to whereas in Mayweather's a saint. Mayweather's got that Virgin Mary blood. You can't talk about the faults of a Mayweather, especially if you're a man of color. Because if you talk about the faults of Mayweather, there's one word that you'll hear: hater. Why are you hating? Hate. It's like, it's right there in front of our faces, It's like, how can you not talk about it? For example, it took a while for me to actually do that video, because I kept getting inboxes, people saying, T Street, when are you going to talk about the Heredia thing? And when I did the video on Alex Ariza, I thought to myself, now here was my logic. I feel as though this is simple logic. Here's my logic. My logic is, okay, you insinuate that Emmanuel Pacquiao was using performance-enhancing drugs. But then You go and hire the man that was training Emmanuel Depredran Pacquiao when you insinuated he was using in performance enhancing drugs. That's simple shit. So it's like, of course I'm going to be like, yeah, what the fuck is up? Like, you know, so I'm thinking, like, am I not supposed to talk about it? Are we not supposed to talk about it? So then it makes me think, like, well, that was your reason why you didn't want to fight. But then I have to address, well, no boxer in this day and age should have any issue with any blood or any urine. And I completely agree with that. I feel that if there's an issue that arises with drug testing, you better have that shit sorted out before you start training for the fight. I'm talking about months before, because I know that these motherfuckers can taper on and off of it. I'm talking about when a person says, all right, before we even start negotiating fighting, I want some blood and I want some piss. I want some piss. And don't drink it, Marquez. I want some piss. If you can't get those things sorted out, then no fight. I understand that made Manny Pacquiao look suspect. But then I look at the fact that Emmanuel Depredran Pacquiao was A-side at that time. Remember, Floyd Mayweather wasn't active, and Manny Pacquiao was on that streak. I believe 4 pay-per-views, over 1 million or something like that. So it was definitely a 50-50 fight back then. But see, this is all stuff you can go out there and find out on your own. You know, you can go find this out on your own. And I think to myself, people say, it's hate. It's not hate. It's love. It's love for the sweet science. It's love for the sport. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play something for you guys. And then we are going to talk. So what I want to do is going to go right here. So everybody relax. This is T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Give me a minute. Please subscribe. It's my remote. It's just, you know, I get tired because we know what the deal is. Fans, we know what the deal is. We know that a guy like Floyd Mayweather should not be associating with those type of people. And you know, Bottle Jack is working with Harvard DNA. I'm looking at it like this. I'm not saying that a man shouldn't have a job. I'm not saying that I have a problem with the way a man makes his living. But what I'm saying is we got to talk about it deeply, because it's harsh, because I can't talk about Harvard. Like, people change. I have a shady past. People change, but it's a specific issue, an isolated issue that, once again, I have an issue with. It's not the fact that it's just one isolated issue. But basically what we're going to do is, you know, got to pay some homage here. So what we're going to do is I got to pay some homage to the money team. So excuse me. Right here. Give me a minute. There we go. Screen share. Yep. Share. Present to everyone. Play. Here we go. So relax, everybody relax. Watch some money team. Chill out. TBE stands for the best ever. Only my own mark and sport boxing. No different from how Ali was known as the greatest. When someone says the best ever, the first person I want them to think about is Floyd Mayweather. I'll let you know that. Oh, my bad. Jesus, I don't know what the heck there. Well, anyway, yeah, you know, I'm gonna be doing stuff like that every now and then. You know, if I gotta like check text messages or something, or go to the bathroom, you know, then I'll just upload some highlights. But wonder where everyone is. Let me check right now and check some comments to see if this video is even being watched. That's what I like to do. It comments. So what I want you to do is listen. If you know how to message me on Twitter, you know, Twitter is the best way. Message me on Twitter, you know, if you know how, if you want to get in on a Google Hangout. Because see, I can get to that easier, you know, because it's hard to add people that want to join during using a computer. It's a lot easier if you follow me at the link to my Twitter is right down below in the description box. I believe it's the last link in the description box. It's T Street Live on Twitter. But send me, that's the best way I can tell you, you know, to get on is you got to send me. I'm reading your comments. I'm reading, you can't see them, look for the camera to zoom in. Well, you can't see them, but I'm reading your comments. What I'm saying is, if you want to get on, send me a message on Twitter. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to send a notification out to the people that are already regulars. Yeah, send one to you. And we'll move that over there, make sure this is right. And then you should have no issues joining, okay? You should have no issues joining. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send a link. I'm going to put the link on my Facebook page. And then you have no issues joining. Now, when I do these Google Hangouts, usually what I'm doing for is because people want me to talk about, you know, where I get my sources from and where I get my material and everything like that. And I personally feel that this is the ultimate way to show you guys, yo, listen, we can talk now. Any questions you have, if you think I'm bullshitting about something, or if you think you know something I don't know if I'm talking about, then listen, I'm right here. You know, I'm right here for you to talk to. And I just want people to know that when it comes to YouTube, I take it seriously to the point where not just YouTube, but my boxing, my plans for boxing in general. And yes, I said my plans for boxing as far as the whole sport of boxing. And I just feel like I'm in a situation where I just can't let anybody get in the way. You know, whether it's you, if you know me personally, you know, if you know me at a business standpoint, okay, now my Twitter's blowing up. Okay, all right. So listen, I got your Twitter messages. So what I'm going to do is listen to me. Now listen to me carefully. Now, if anybody asks dumb questions, I'm not going to say they're dumb. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up some clips of the press conference. So while I'm putting up clips from the press conference for you guys to watch, I'm going to be adding people so you can join. You get what I'm saying? So let me get this one piece right here taken care of first. And then what I'm going to do is for about the next, I'm going to say 10, 15 minutes or so, I'm going to have press conference footage playing. And I'm going to be adding people, you know, during that time. So if anybody asks what's going on, you know, tell them in the live chat. He'll be back in about 10 minutes, whatever the case may be. So once again, T Street Controversy Live, share the video. I'm checking my Twitter now. As I said, that's the best way to get to me is through the Twitter, because I'm getting a message right now as we speak. And also you have to have a Gmail account. You have to have a Gmail account. It can't be Yahoo. It has to be Gmail account. And I'm going to add you to my Google Hangout. Okay. So hang in there. Let me get this press conference. And then we're going to go from there. Let's see. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? And then, you know, also, you know, we're going to talk about, you know, basically all the stuff we're supposed to be talking about, you know, as far as, you know, basically, this is not just a Mayweather Pacquiao video. Now, normally, you know.
That meeting in Miami was a major milestone. I personally want to thank Floyd for making this happen.
Oh, the video, the press conference is courtesy of Hoop Jack. Real cool guy.
First and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge Les Moonves, who worked tirelessly behind the scenes, out front, and making this fight happen. also like to acknowledge Al Heyman, Bob Aaron, Stephen Espinosa, Richard Clever, Mark Tappert, and Ken Mercer. Also on behalf of Floyd and Mayweather Promotions, it is an honor to be able to make Mayweather versus Pacquiao happen with some of the best in the business. Top Rank, MGM, Showtime CBS, and HBO. This event is promoted by Mayweather Promotions and Top Rank Incorporated, and all these people are working together to make this great fight happen, and we're truly, truly excited. Mayweather versus Pacquiao is a tremendous fight between two great champions and two great men. May 2nd will be a spectacle like none ever seen before in the great city of Las Vegas. Over the years, Floyd has made MGM Grand his home, and they have gone above and beyond to ensure the highest quality for every Floyd event. This will be Floyd's 11th consecutive fight at the MGM Grand, and the 14th time he will fight there in his career. I'm thrilled to introduce a man who I consider a great friend who has helped us get to where we are today. None other than Richard Stern, president of MGM Resorts International.
Thank you, Leonard. Appreciate that. Good afternoon to the media in attendance and the millions of fans watching worldwide. We are thrilled that this fight has come to fruition and that it will be held at the MGM Grand. The resort is home to the biggest names in sports and entertainment, and on May 2nd, we will host one of the greatest fights in the sport has ever seen. Over the years, both Floyd and Manny have treated fans inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena and those watching on pay-per-view to a thrilling fight experience. While their previous fights have been extremely exciting, we believe there is nothing that will compare to the spectacle these two champions will deliver on May 2nd. Although the fight will take place at the MGM Grand, our entire MGM Resorts family is prepared to deliver our guests an unforgettable experience. Whether they travel from Los Angeles, Chicago, or the UK, everybody can expect service that will be second to none. I'd like to give a special thanks to all the parties involved and continue to support Las Vegas and our championship events. Payman Boxing, Mayweather Promotions, Top Rank, Showtime Pay-Per-View, HBO Pay-Per-View, the fighters, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and the media. We look forward to seeing you May 2nd for an electric weekend and a tremendous championship boxing event at MGM Grand. Thank you very much.
Now I'd like to introduce our co-promoter, none other than legendary Hall of Fame promoter, Bob Aaron, founder and CEO of Top Rank.
Thank you, Leonard. It's great to be here. It's great to be part of an event that so elevates the sport of boxing. When we compare it to other events, major events like the Super Bowl, even the Olympics, we get worldwide attention to those events. And it's been rare that worldwide attention focuses on a boxing match. And believe me, with the help of everyone, the world, the entire world, will be watching May 2nd in the United States, May 3rd in Asia, but they'll all be watching this great event unfold. And it's a credit to the sport of boxing that we've been able to put on such an event.
Okay, so I added some people. I don't know why you guys are not able to join yet. Let me send out another invite. And I understand. See, you know, I did this basically out of nowhere, really. I didn't tell people I was doing it. I did basically like, you know, a short Facebook post saying I was going to be going on live today. And basically because, you know, I'm just trying to make sure, you know, that like I like being transparent. And also I want people to know exactly like what it is that I'm doing so they can know what to expect. And also what it does is it puts those obligations and it gives me incentive to fulfill those obligations. Now, when it came to the other channel I was on, I was always about fulfilling numbers and fulfilling deadlines. I would say, we'll be at this at this place at this time. We'll be at this place at this time. I was able to accurately forecast. Whereas in now, I've been blessed to be in Philly and be on the East Coast to have all these major events on the East Coast happening at the beginning of this year. So as far as, you know, Madison Square Garden in New York is concerned, it's pretty much a hotspot for boxing in the months of April and June. Then there's a couple Philly events that I want to be going to. And I just want to make sure that my goal is to make sure when you come to this channel, you're getting a complete boxing source. When you go to realcombatmedia.com, you're getting a complete boxing source. And that's what we're working at, because I don't want credit, but at the same time, like I said, I'm hoping that you guys can see now a little more when I say, yo, I've been knew Mayweather versus Pacquiao was happening. And the fight was done way in December, we find out. So it's just stuff like that where I don't go by speculation anymore. Hold on, Corey, I'm sending you a message now. You gotta send me your entire email address as it's written out, you know, such and such at gmail.com, that I can copy and paste it and then send it. And I can copy and paste it and then add you. So what you want to do is you want to send me your Gmail account to my Twitter. You want to send your Gmail to join Google Hangout. You want to send your Gmail, okay? Your Gmail account, such and such at gmail.com, to my Twitter inbox. Then I hold it till it says copy message text, and then I paste it. So let me see. Who's asking me what now? Might join your Google Hangout. Is this where you wanted us to message you? Yes, this is where I said, yes, this is where I said message me. Your Gmail, please. Now look, let's try to go through it step by step. So this is Samurai Godo. Samurai Godo just messaged me, might join your Google Hangout. Is this where you wanted me to message you? He sent this to my Twitter. I said, yes. I said your Gmail. Now let's see if we can go from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on. I'm going to say this. Listen, I understand, you know, it's tough to talk about a little bit, but I understand, you know, given my history and my coverage of Mayweather in the past, people think that I just got something personal against the man. It's not that. I can understand that how you feel when I didn't take YouTube or I didn't take media reporting seriously. I didn't take it seriously. To whereas I picked him to beat Canelo. I picked him to beat Marcos Maidana both times. I said the first fight was a draw. Manny Pacquiao, I'm not picking him to win. So once again, to clarify, and the videos are here to prove it. Well, on the other channel, they may be still there. I picked him to beat Saul Canelo Alvarez. I picked him to beat Marcos Maidana in both fights, even though I had the first fight a draw. He clearly won his second fight. And I picked him to lose against Manny Pacquiao. I did pick Robert Guerrero to beat him, but that was, see, that's when I didn't take the game seriously. You know, and I know that. So I feel that Mayweather knows that he has to give Manny Pacquiao something to think about when he comes into the ring. I'm talking about when Manny Pacquiao comes in with those mean combinations, and we know Pacquiao's going to throw probably like 800 punches, 900 punches. Floyd doesn't want to be on the end of those flurries and not have Pacquiao hurt or eating something on the way in. Floyd's punch output is very low. A lot of fans feel that Floyd's going to get Manny Pacquiao into a boxing match. I don't think, and I said this before, I said this about Marcos Maidana, I don't think that Manny Pacquiao's coming to box. I do not think that Manny Pacquiao was coming there to get into some boxing match. He's going to come in and he's going to try to beat that man half to death. Manny Pacquiao has been knocked out in the worst possible way that you can be knocked out. And you think he's going to come in here and try to box his nemesis? You think he's going to come in here and try to box Mayweather? Like, you know what? Yeah, you think he's going to come in here and try to fuck him up? And that's for real. That's no sugarcoating. You know, so you got to think Floyd knows that. So therefore, Floyd knows that, well, he should know that if there's one fight where he turns or goes back into pretty boy when he sits there and he bangs and he imposes his will on Manny Pacquiao, then pretty boy Floyd, as I said before, pretty boy Floyd Mayweather defeats any Manny Pacquiao, but Money May not so much. That's just my opinion. Now, if I was Floyd, I would be training for the fight. I would be training knowing by looking at the state of Manny Pacquiao's opponent's faces. I would know that I'm probably going to bleed. I may get cut. I may go down, but I'm going to win the fight. It's the fans. It's the fans that are saying that this is an easy fight. It's the fans that are saying it's an easy fight. Everything about Floyd Mayweather leading up to this fight shows you that he's serious and shit. Even chopping wood, pause, with no safety goggles. Wood chips in the eyes. That's my the wood chips. Come on, man. I see a man who knows that if there's any fight where I hurt my hand trying to knock somebody the fuck out, fuck this Showtime contract, it's Manny Pacquiao. We're gonna play another clip while I check some of my messages. It's just that we can talk. You know, we can talk logically, fans. We can. If there's a question you have, if there's something you want to talk about, if you think, you know, oh, well, let me see what he has to say about this to see where his knowledge is at, we can talk. That's why I do these Google Hangouts. You know, when you look at my Facebook and everything, I get attacked. When it comes to social media, social media is not kind. When it comes to these comments, the thousands of them I get a day, they're not kind. So you got to understand, you got to have pretty thick skin to do what I do, and, you know, just to have like a regular day, because it's not easy. So, you know, I understand when people think they can just come up here and just do YouTube videos and all that. There's a dark side to it all, a dark side that you really, you know, don't really understand, I guess I can say. But as I said before, I don't care. Yeah, Austin Garcia, I see you. I see you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste. Damn it. I can't cut. You know what? I'm going to leave that alone. So what I'm going to do is the next commercial break, the next Mayweather Pacquiao promotion exclusively on T Street Controversy, courtesy of Showtime. I'll be running commercial breaks in between my Google Hangouts, along with the commercial breaks that also come sponsored by Disney. I just want to make sure that when it comes to my opinion, when it comes to your opinion, that we can talk about it. For example, you may say Floyd Mayweather is going to beat the shit out of Pacquiao. He already been put to sleep. That's the favorite thing that he said. He already been put to sleep. Mayweather's going to box his ears off. I'm the type of guy where I'll say that can happen. I respect your opinion. But then when you come back to me like, what are you don't know what to... You know how to, come on, you know how to get, you know how to get. I'm all for healthy boxing debates where we can master the minds, not where I say something, then you get mad and then you start personally attacking me, trying to curse me out. And I'm like, yo, how this get like this? Like, for example, on my channel, on my page, I got people now who was just so, okay, when the fight was first officially announced, people just were so happy that it got announced that they was required for some time. I'm thinking like, okay, this is going to be nice and smooth until May the 2nd. Now niggas is at war in the streets. Niggas is talking about some what? You tell Floyd, put some money down, and if you don't give me my bread, I'm gonna fly out there. And I'm like, what's like over a fight? Look at them serious, and it's probably not. It's not even my forum anymore, especially since all this boxing PD guru stuff started. It's not. You look around, and you seeing all these different boxing forums and everywhere. Everybody just going in at each other. It's full out war, and you gotta really understand what I'm talking about. And I like chaos. You gotta understand what I'm talking about when I say I see people like arguing, and I just sit there and I'm looking in the comments like, oh. I'm like, oh, like why do you do that? Like you see people like photoshopping people's faces on the stuff and everything. It's crazy out here. You know, this Mayweather Pacquiao thing is during this social media age, and that's why, you know, I'm upset, because when it comes to May 2nd, now there's excuses for both sides that can be made. So now the fight is already contaminated, and that's why, you know what I want? I want Manny Pacquiao to defeat Floyd Mayweather on the cards, or I want Floyd Mayweather to defeat Manny Pacquiao on the cards. If there's a knockout, yes, but the knockout's going to be tainted. You know why? You know why? Because fans are going to say what? What are they going to say? What are they going to say? PDs! Even if it's true or not. And I would think to myself, man, and honestly, that's the sport. That's the sport of boxing right now today. That's the sport of boxing right now today. You don't know who's doing it the right way, to the point where me personally, I'm the type of person, from what I've learned, you know, ever since I started taking the sport seriously, what I've learned is I don't know who's clean or who's not. And honestly, at this point in time, I'm starting not to care. I'm starting not to care. In fact, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If a report come out that somebody juiced, I'm like, oh, I juiced. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care, because I've seen people that did juice get beat the fuck up. Like when Oscar De La Hoya beat up Fernando Vargas. They're cool now. But I remember when he knocked De La Hoya out the ring, that he was at the and you know, Fernando Vargas was known to be kind of a pudgy guy. And I'm talking about in his boxing years. Remember at the weigh-in, you know, when he got on the scales, you know, and this was way before YouTube, you know, way before all that. And you just see him all up there flexing. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? What happened to Fernando Vargas? You know, then I saw he was trying to kill De La Hoya, but you know, I've seen that that you can have all of that, but you can still get beat down. And one question I ask fans, I say to myself, well, how many clean left hands can Floyd Mayweather take? You know, on my channel, in fact, oh my God, that's going to be my next commercial break. I'm going to play it. I had an exclusive a time to talk to Steve Cunningham and Nassim Richardson exclusively, and he was talking about it, how Floyd Mayweather is now reduced fans to one shot. He gets hit with one shot. It's like, oh, you see that one time in round 4? You know, just one shot. We just be like, oh, he got hit that one time, like that one hard shot. And I asked fans, like, well, what if a Manny Pacquiao, and he's known to be a power puncher, one thing you don't want to do, and one thing you have seen, history, just like those check hooks of Mayweather's, just like those elbows of Mayweather's, history has shown us that Emmanuel Dappy Dren's Pacquiao's left hand will fuck your shit up. No, but it will fuck your shit up. That is proven. That is proven. That is proven. Just like Floyd can put on a boxing exhibition, he will get off a high percentage of punches and look good doing it. But on the other end, and this is the only time I'm going to use this graphic, vulgar language when I describe it, Manny Pacquiao's left hand will fuck your fucking motherfucking face up. So I asked myself, a fast southpaw, a guy who literally, when it comes to being knocked out cold, has nothing to lose, a guy who's fighting his arch enemy, a guy who's been humiliated and ridiculed and had his name dragged through the mud by the money team, Mayweather Promotions, Floyd Mayweather, and everyone associated with him and his fans. You got to think, when that term of eye of the tiger comes into mind, I'm thinking, okay, all right, once again, I don't see Manny Pacquiao coming in there to box. Now, let me check my Facebook, because people cannot join, or is it because right now I've sent the link out and no one is here? I'm checking my email. No one is here. Well, what I'm going to do is, I don't even know how long I've been on yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay on for probably like a couple more hours. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to play commercials in between You know, so if I got to go take a leak or something like that, get some water, you know, pump on ass pump. You know, so what we're going to do is we're going to play, I got a chance to ask Steve Cunningham and Asim Richardson about Mayweather Pacquiao. And the knowledgeable man that he is gave us a little bit of scripture, boxing scripture, of course. Thank you all. Let's make sure we get that out of the way. I heard if you get like a bunch of thank you Al Haymans, if you save them up, they turn into a wish. There we go.
You'll be watching the PBC on NBC premiere this weekend. Robert Guerrero, Keith Thurman, Adrian Brown, and John Mulaney.
Yeah, I said I'm a fan, man. I love to watch fighters, you know what I'm saying? I love to watch different styles. I'm still learning, so I'm learning from what I see. And I want to see how the new NBC or the new Al Haymon situation.
Yeah, you fought with main events on NBC multiple times on NBC Sports.
So I mean, the NBC guys, man, hats off to them. Just see how the production is and not how it is, but let's see how good they do. And they're doing a good job, man. So, I think this is actually opening doors for a lot of fighters.
Thurman or Guerrero?
Me personally, man, I don't like to pick fights. I don't like to pick fights unless I'm in the gym with the guys and I see them. Then I can really go, yo, I know this dude works. I'll put my money on it. I guarantee you it's gonna be a good fight. Guerrero's he's not a quitter, he's not a chump. I think he's a former champion, right? So, and Thurman's a monster. He's coming up trying to get to the top. It's gonna be a good fight regardless.
Well, now I gotta ask you the question no one's asked yet. You know about you know what's what it is about May.
I'm still waiting on Duran and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, right.
We talk about
mega fights. Yeah,
we got to wait 11 years. I'm gonna chase a woman for that. 7 years. I'm dead no more. I'm thinking, all we can do in boxing is fight. In boxing, all you want here is when Mayweather loses. But before he went to jail, he would have backed out. Before he got knocked out, he would have. Something ridiculous. It's like when you waited, Coach Barrett, remember, is when we waited to try to get the third fight. And then, I got the third fight. Mayweather's a beast, Pacquiao's a beast. I don't believe yet. He had to fight Pacquiao for his legacy to be real. If you can beat 40 teenage girls in a row, stand defeated against 40, 17-year-old girls. I don't know how much you know. It's just hard to stay that consistent. He had 40 fights. You can count how many of them you can go. I put my shame back over one shot. He reduced everybody to where you get excited when you do get by one shot. And down here with a shot, the world's excited. He with accommodation. Ain't like he went down. Ain't like he was bloody and good. This dude reduced everybody to a shot. He gave a shot, everybody excited. It's like you playing in the NBA, and you excited when you get one rebound. We're about to get reduced to it. They finally gonna fight. Hopefully. A 7-year wait. See, for me, waiting for a fight for 7 years, it gotta be better and 3 rounds longer than Ernst and Hagen. I think if 2 men fight 3 rounds longer the way Ernst and Hagen fought, somebody gonna die.
I just want, I guess, what is it, like a better quality of boxing fan, if that makes sense. I want boxing fans that you can be talked to, you know, and when we disagree, people don't have to be throwing names all around, because, you know, I get pissed when I'm trying to have like a nice, decent discussion with someone, and it's going that way until all of a sudden it comes with the Mayweather Pacquiao, then they start saying like dumbass shit. And it's like me, knowing as much as I know, I get to a point where I think like, well, now you done drug me into this bullshit dumbass conversation. You know what? Now my boxing knowledge is even lower now for entertaining it. Now, like I said, I already know what the blueprint can be. Floyd Mayweather by decision. I don't see knockout. Floyd Mayweather by decision, putting on the boxing lesson. Manny Pacquiao's aggressiveness is low. On the other end, Manny Pacquiao work rate wins on the cards, in my opinion. Manny Pacquiao capability of a multiple knockdown situation. Manny Pacquiao's capability of knocking out Mayweather. You know, like that has more of a possibility happening than Floyd Mayweather knocking out Manny Pacquiao. And the only reason why people won't say that Manny Pacquiao is going to knock Floyd Mayweather out is why? Is because you got to go with this safe bet. The man is calling himself TBE, never been knocked out. You know, not to go to Adrian, not to go to somebody that's not on Mayweather's level as far as Adrian Broner. For the people that have been around, and followed me, when I was talking about Adrian Broner losing to Marcos Maidana, what was I saying? What was I saying? Should I have to repeat it? Marcos Maidana is not the type of guy you want to stand in front of. Adrian Broner didn't have the foot movement against Paulie Malignaggi, and he took too many punches. Marcos Maidana is going to break him down, beat him up, probably even knock him out. And I even went into more detail, but I'm not going to go back to that. Unfortunately, that video is not still around due to some. But you can't. Nobody is going to get every single prediction right. Nobody is going to get every single prediction right. You can't look at someone who gets one wrong prediction, maybe 2, 3, and say, "Oh, you don't know shit about boxing," because there's so many different variables. You know, I can say fights where I totally messed up, you know, and I can say fights where I literally knew how it was going to go. And truth be told, thank you to Al Heyman. Thank you so much. It's easy to see how a lot of these fights are going to go now, except when certain situations happen, like Gary Russell versus Vasyl Lomachenko, who's fighting this week, me and Gary Russell. When I said, listen, Gary Russell was good, but he's fought nobody. Vasyl Lomachenko's probably seen like 20, 30 Gary Russells in his 400+ amateur wins. You know, it's logic like that I use, where I use past knowledge of knowing and following Lomachenko through his the end of his amateur career, you know, in the Olympics to now. So knowing that, man, Gary Russell Jr. ain't show us nothing. So there's so many different variables. For example, Keith Thurman versus Robert Guerrero. I picked Robert Guerrero. Why? Because of veteran experience. To whereas in Keith Thurman now is a favorite of mine because I needed him to get through Robert Guerrero. You know, that's my logic. It's like, all right, beat him. It's like, all right, beat him. You know, then I can start having a little bit more faith in you. So with Keith Thurman, I went over Soto Carras. I went over Diego Chavez. I went over Leonard Bundu, which is a credible win, and I went over Robert Guerrero. If you look at that, you know, that resume, that's pretty damn good. So now he should be fighting a major fight next. You know, it can't be nobody lower than Robert Guerrero. You know, maybe Andre Berto. And believe it or not, guess what? Andre Berto, just, you know, jump around a little bit. Andre Berto won the WBA interim title from when he fought Jose Gito Lopez. It wasn't publicized, but he won a WBA interim, which makes him the mandatory for Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman, Keith Thurman is the mandatory for Floyd Mayweather. So, you know, it's funny how, you know, those things are working. But I guess we're going to move on now. Enough of Mayweather Pacquiao. Gary Russell Jr. is going to be taking on Johnny Gonzalez this weekend, March 28th, 2015 on Showtime Championship Boxing. On the undercard, you're going to have Jamel Charlo of the twin brother Charlos versus very good amateur career Venus Martirosyan. And I'm going to be doing an individual video on Jamel Charlo versus Martirosyan. So I'm not going to talk about that on this Google Hangout because I want to save that information for the video. So we're going to go and talk about Gary Russell Jr. versus Johnny Gonzalez for the WBC 126-pound title. Gary Russell Jr. has had one fight back since losing to Vasyl Lomachenko in June of 2014. Christopher Martin, a guy where, put it this way, it was almost to a point where it wasn't televised. So I said in my previous video that I'm happy that Gary Russell is fighting another championship fight, because normally when Al Heyman guys, thank you, Al Heyman. Normally when Al Heyman guys get into a big high profile fight and they lose, they normally take some time off. Whereas, and this is a very winnable fight for Gary Russell, and good management, in my opinion, as far as getting him this fight with Johnny Gonzalez, because as long as he does not stand there in front of Johnny Gonzalez and he has the foot movement and he has the hand speed to outland Johnny Gonzalez, outbox him, and maybe score a knockdown, not knockout later on in the fight. Just my own personal opinion from the wear and tear of the damage. That's just my own opinion. But will he knock out Johnny Gonzalez? Likely not. Johnny Gonzalez, if I'm correct, I may be off about 1 or 2 fights, but he's like 23-2 in his last 2 fights, and that's only since like 2007. And like 21 of those fights are by knockout. So, you know, when you look at what happened to Abner Maris, that was bound to happen to him because he was always testing his chin to the point where it's like, you know, you're going to keep moving up all these different weight classes and wanting to get punched in the face. You know, it's only bound to happen. Almost like Omar Figueroa, to the point where if he doesn't define his technique with his brittle hands, he's going to end up getting stopped one day because his hands are going to be too messed up to stop somebody. And also, he takes too much unnecessary damage, so wear and tear. So Abner Maris and Omar Figueroa, a little bit. Abner Maris more of the better fighter, in my opinion, you know, better boxer. But they kind of remind me of each other a little bit as far as putting their bodies out there, you know, and their brains out there on the line and just taking all these shots. And then, you know, higher above that is a guy like Brandon Rios, who is more skilled than both of them, in my opinion, because Brandon Rios is highly underestimated, in my opinion. But to keep it on Gary Russell, if he wins this, we've been hearing. Okay, well, let me start with Johnny Gonzalez then. Apparently, Johnny Gonzalez has some deal with Al Heyman. I don't know the exact details. I don't know if it's true or not. So allegedly, but right now it's looking like it's true. Whereas, and after this fight, win or loss, his next fight will be on PBC something. Most likely PBC on NBC, and Gary Russell Jr. and or also on PBC or on NBC. So it's looking like right now. Now I did the video on this, but it's looking like something like the winner of this fight gets Abner Maris, even though Abner Maris in his last fight didn't look too good. You know, fighting his sparring partner. Go check out my video on that. Leo Santa Cruz may move up, and there was one more name in the mix that I was hearing about. Al Heyman fighter that's mixed in there. But Rigondeaux's not mixed in there. So, you know, I understand we want to talk about that. But Rigondeaux was not a 126-pounder. Rigondeaux's 122-pounder. His management team, they're adamant on he's staying at 122 pounds. Vasyl Lomachenko, who's fighting at 126, feels that title holders, you know, at 122 and 126 and in boxing period should fight at their weights and no catch weights. So, you know, I completely understand that, and I'm not saying he's ducking because realistically, Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Vasyl Lomachenko will be a very, very big, good fight. It's a little premature, even though Rigondeaux is older now, but still, I can see where he's coming from. It's like, you know, like no catch weight, come up to 126 or don't. You know, Vasyl Lomachenko should not, at this point in time in his career, have to go to 122 to get that fight. What else? We got Kell Brook versus Jojo Dan. I didn't do my fight week prediction on that. So what we will do is, until I do my fight week prediction on that, we will skip that so I can save that content. We're going to skip a week then. We're going to go to Adonis Stevenson versus Saki Obika. We'll talk about that. I don't know why people are not able to join. I'm going to be here, you know, for about the next 15 minutes or so. Then I got to start making some dinner, you know, start a shitload of paperwork and phone calls. My God. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about Adonis Stevenson versus Saki Obika. My next Google Hangout after this will be next weekend. Also, I'll be on Sky Sports Toe to Toe podcast this week with Spencer Farron. Yeah, so we talked about this weekend, Kel. So we're going to talk about Donald Stevenson versus Saki Obika. This is a fight where I feel Donald Stevenson can lose, even though Saki Obika is moving up to 175 pounds, and he is a natural 168-pound guy. But let's be honest with ourselves. Donald Stevenson has only been at 175 pounds for 2 years. Remember, he had that big 2013. That was the year he also moved up and he won the championship to 2014 when you fight guys like Dmitry Sakhutsky. And, Fonfara was a good fight, but Fonfara was almost a fight that fans thought, or, maybe matchmakers thought was Adonis Stevenson was supposed to blow through, and it didn't really go that way because now we see Fonfara is a very good fighter and is fighting a very winnable fight against a Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I want to talk about that, but, since I want to go eat, my stomach is killing me. We're going to stick on Adonis Stevenson versus Saki Obika. Adonis Stevenson, if you don't know, he's the WBC champion, the Ring Magazine champion, and recognized as the champion of the division at 175 pounds, even though Sergey Kovalev has the WBC Diamond or WBC Silver, whichever one it is, but that makes him the mandatory, next for Adonis Stevenson after Adonis Stevenson or Saki Obika. So you have him, the WBC #1 contender, the WBO, the WBA Super World, Jurgen Brähmer, who won yesterday, has WBA regular, and he has the IBF and the IBO. So you got basically Sergey Kovalev. He has to take on Mohammedi to fulfill a WBO obligation, if I'm correct. And then you got the WBA, who's making mandatories that may want to enforce Jurgen Brähmer, who had a big win, and also he was a WBA regular or WBA World. If you don't know who he is, he's a German fighter. Americans, you won't be able to watch his fights unless you watch him on YouTube or unless you find a way to watch him in a way which we should have better access to fights. I just hate it. So basically, Sergey Kovalev, he can be tied up for some while with fighting mandatories, especially in the age of the actual organizations making their mandatories. So basically, he may have 2 fights or mandatories he has to fulfill before he gets to fight Stevenson. But here's the thing. The WBC, the WBA, and the IBF are in cahoots. They've been working with each other as far as making mandatories and as far as making undisputed champions, or their venture to make undisputed champions, which they're getting close to doing with a few fighters, if everything goes, the way it's supposed to go. So, just elaborate on that a little bit before I go back to the 175-pound champion situation. Let me talk about who has the chance of being an undisputed champion so far, and the easiest ways they can do it. Like right now, of course, in the 122-pound division, you can have undisputed champions if Scott Quigg faces Guillermo Rigondeaux. Then Guillermo Rigondeaux had both of those WBA belts in that WBO. Then, of course, there's no politics involved in one of those guys fighting Carl Frampton, who has the IBF. Then whatever Leo Santa Cruz is going to do, he'll be the only holdup in being an undisputed champion in that division. The 140-pound division, I don't see a unification in that. The WBC may want it by making Lucas Matisse the WBC mandatory. After Victor Postol, I don't see an undisputed champion in that division. 147, Mayweather has a WBC, WBA Super World, and in the ring. Manny Pacquiao to WBO, and then the winner of that can fight Kell Brook and be an undisputed champion. In that situation, you don't have to capture Keith Thurman's belt. That would just be basically extra because you already have the main WBA belt. In 154, no. Who can be one? Gennady Golovkin is on the path to being undisputed at 160 pounds. He's currently the mandatory for Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto to WBC. The ring. Golovkin has the WBA Super World. Danny Jacobs has the WBA regular. Peter Quillen and Andy Lee fighting for the WBO. If Peter Quillen gets that belt, that may spoil Golovkin's undisputed dreams. But if Andy Lee, that's a makeable fight. And then, basically Miguel Cotto's got to fight Golovkin anyway, or, he has to drop the belt. When it comes to the IBF, Hassan Endam and David Lemieux, both of those fighters would be able to fight Golovkin, without the politics or any people involved as far as that unofficial tournament in 160. 168. you know, we might as well skip over that division. But 175, now that we're back to that division, Adonis Stevenson beat Saki Obika. The WBC made Sergey Kovalev the mandatory. So even if Sergey Kovalev loses to Muhammadi, or if he fights Bramer or not, he still has a very good chance of fighting for that WBC title. And one of those guys can be the undisputed champion. And frankly, I say personally, you know, we don't really know what Al Heyman's real plan is for his fighters that have world titles and the ones that don't. But when it comes to a guy like Adonis Stevenson getting that close to being the undisputed champion, you know, you got to let him go for it. You got to let him go for it. So, you know, avoiding that Sergey Kovalev fight when Sergey Kovalev has all the belts, that's, you know, that's a big major fight as far as when the last time we had an undisputed fight, right? Remember, Bernard Hopkins versus Jermaine Taylor, and it hasn't been anyone really close since. Now, there's two different type of undisputed champions, right? I'm talking about the new era of undisputed champion, of having all four belts, not just the three, when you can say, who was it, Victor Archini and Zab Judah, you know, I believe. You know, I'm talking about the era where all the belts matter. I'm not taking away from what they've done because that was big back then. But now when it comes, okay, get up, man. It's the dog. Get up, man. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Good. Okay, back up. Okay, now you gotta back up. Back up. Come here. Anyway, I just feel that it could be a situation where Adonis Stevenson may be fighting Sergey Kovalev on PBC. You know, that was something that was brought up. I forgot where I read that, but it's very likely it can happen to where what if the WBC orders a purse bid and Al Heyman wins the purse bid? That means Sergey Kovalev will be going to NBC and Kathy Duva have to sit there at a PBC event, you know, with Sergey Kovalev, you know, and just looking at all that, that'd be like an ultimate slap in the face a little bit. But that can happen. So as far as Adonis Stevenson versus Saki Obika, it should be an exciting fight. The fans are not really respecting it that much. It's a midday card, you know, over here on the East Coast, so they'll be coming on something around, I believe, like 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, I'm going to be covering that fight. And basically, it's PBC on CBS. It's the debut of PBC on CBS. I'm going to be covering that fight. It's going to be at the Bell Center in Montreal. That arena has always been reserved for quite some time. I talked about that long ago for the Adonis Stevenson fight. The winner out of that is supposed to be fighting Sergey Kovalev because this is Adonis Stevenson's voluntary. The next one has to be the mandatory. So we can expect to see Sergey Kovalev back. If I'm correct, I forgot if he said he's going to be back this summer or not. Get that Muhammadi fight out the way, and then definitely see Adonis Stevenson versus Sergey Kovalev at the end of this year. Jean Pascal, if you don't know, he's talking about moving up to heavyweight to fight Pacman Severn. I can understand that fight because he would be the much more athletic fighter, but at the same time, we don't know how he would take to those heavyweight punches. And also, I know it's that Roy Jones, basically Hoop Dreams talking to him, because Roy Jones went for that title when he fought John Ruiz. But basically, I'm pretty much going to get out of here. You know, this is kind of like, you know, a special edition. And plus, the Boxing Voice show comes on soon. I think they come on. I forgot what time they come on. Next week, we're going to be back to things, you know, in an official way. So once again, I'll tell you this. Listen, the channel was under, we got major things going on. You know, so for the things that you wanted from me from all these years, as far as getting to the gyms, interviewing the fighters, getting to the events, you know, I'm doing all that. April is going to be my biggest media month of ever. You know, with all the press conferences and media event that I have to go to, for example, workout footage. As I was saying, we're under major expansion. So if you're interested, you should email me at tstreetcontroversy@gmail, and basically we'll talk and you'll understand my vision. You know, so I have a vision, and the things that we're working on is making sure that along with Real Combat Media, we become your stop for boxing. You know, we become a place where you go and say, okay, we know we're going to get everything there. So as I was saying at the beginning of the video, like when I was on the other channel, when we had stuff like pro wrestling, when we had the UFC and the world news and all that type of, you know, TMZ bullshit, all that, to whereas in I'm going to still be doing my videos in the same capacity, but I'm going to be adding boxing content to support that. So the fact that I am full-blown media now, when it comes to press events, media events that I can go to, like even if you see like all the media calls on my channel, everything involving boxing media, I will be there as far as the East Coast is concerned. And then we're going to, then, you know, we're working out like right now, courtesy of Hoop Jab, getting us exclusive Manny Pacquiao training footage, Gennady Golovkin, Willie Monroe Jr. press conference. And those are the things I want people to understand. As long as you see, put it this way, if you're seeing changes, I want you to know, like, and think to yourself, okay, all right, I see where this is going. You know, so remember, you got to crawl before you walk, but we're getting there. You know, so there's still some fine tuning. And I got to say, like, we listen to you. You know, when it comes to me, when it comes to Real Combat Media, Be Real TV, Hoop Jab, GTM Sports Banners, LDI Bleto Sports Apparel, we all listen to you. We listen to you. Shout out to, I don't even know, well, I got some investors now, but he said he want to be my Al Heyman. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So I don't even know what to call him yet. But anyway, I just want to make sure you know that everything is in place, you know. And as far as a serious boxing channel, I don't focus on, you know, speculation unless it's serious speculation. I'm talking about, well, the Cotto K9 Timothy Bradley situation. I do those videos. When it comes to Mayweather Pacquiao, I'll do one video on that, maybe 2 a week, you know. And as we get closer to the fight, that may build up to about two or three videos a week. I don't feel a need to every little bit of news, you know, to come out and talk about it when there's so much other boxing to talk about. And also these things that have to be in place because we want to make sure that we're made with a Pacquiao recession proof. Because, you know, if you don't know what that means, oh, you're going to see some major changes in the boxing community, you know, or the YouTube boxing community, you know, after that fight's over. And basically, you know, that's just pretty much what I want you guys to know is that we're working. And right now we have the foundation. Now it's all about fine tuning. Even the things, you know, myself, like when I do my interviews, you know, there's things I got to work on and that I'm working on, but it's all about being open and knowing that I have to fix these situations or knowing these things that I have to work on. So everybody hang in there. This is T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live with RealCombatMedia.com. We're doing a poll for Mayweather versus Pacquiao. It's right there. The first link in the description box. Actually, I believe it's the second one. And what you do is you go to the homepage, and it's going to be Mayweather by decision, Mayweather by Pat. See, you know what? This is the way I'm going to do it because basically, I want to see what people really, really think. I want, you know, the official polls are going to start coming out soon. And basically, I want to use that gauge of the poll to know what people really think. So go to RealCombatMedia.com, do the poll, and basically, I'm going to be reading the results sometime closer to the fight. I'm T Street Controversy. If you want to support to help T Street Controversy get to Vegas, I talked about it earlier in the video. Just email me. It's not all financial, of course. Everybody think that everybody was trying to teach somebody and all that. And listen. Just send me an email, and if you're serious, as I talked to many people this past week, we can talk. Like I'm transparent. I'm completely 100% open, and even though I know how to communicate business in a formal manner, I like to know the people I'm working with, if that makes sense. T Street Controversy with RealCombatMedia.com. I am hungry as shit. T Street Controversy Live. Subscribe.